You're planning a trip to Switzerland in spring and you're wondering what are the best places to visit? Well, in this video I'll tell you, because this is Switzerland Insider. My name is Greg and I'm Swiss. My goal is to help you experience Switzerland like a local, so let's get started. First up, there is the Lauterbrunnen Valley. The Lauterbrunnen Valley in spring is straight out of a postcard. Now, it is surrounded by massive cliffs and its 72 waterfalls, and spring is when those waterfalls are at their best. The melting snow from the mountain feeds them, so they're way more powerful than in summer. One of the best things to do here in spring is to visit the Trümmelbach Falls, a series of waterfalls hidden inside a mountain. If you want an easy but scenic walk, take the trail from Lauterbrunnen to Stechelberg. It's really beautiful and it takes you past the waterfalls, farms with cows, and a lot of classic Swiss chalets. By mid-April, the valley floor is fresh and green, the wildflowers start blooming, and the air feels super crisp. If you want to have even better views, take up the cable car to Mürren or visit Wengen. Both have amazing lookouts over the entire valley. Plus, fewer tourists are there compared to the peak season. Next up is Zurich. Zurich is one of the first places in Switzerland where you really feel like spring has arrived. People start spending more time outside. Spring is also when Zurich's biggest festival, Sechseleuten or Sachsilüte as we call it, happens. It's a unique tradition that's still a hidden gem for many travelers. So, it's at locals with a huge snowman, set it on fire and watch its head explode. Now, the quicker the head explodes, the better the summer will be, supposedly. This is also the perfect time for a boat cruise on Lake Zurich or a quick hike up Uetliberg, the city's local mountain. If you want to explore Zurich beyond the tourist spots, check out my Zurich travel guide. It's packed with local experiences, hidden gems, and tips on how to experience the city like a local. Link in the description. Then we have Morcote. Morcote is one of the most beautiful villages in Switzerland, and if you visit in spring, it feels like you've stepped into Italy. Since it's in Ticino, the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland, the weather warms up way earlier than the rest of the country. By April, you already see palm trees, blooming flowers, and the deep blue lake as well. One of the best things to do here is to just walk along the Lakeside promenade. It's very peaceful, lined with gardens, and has a bunch of great spots to sit and take in the views. If you're up for a bit of a climb, hike up the Santa Maria del Sasso church. It's about 400 steps, but totally worth it for the incredible view over the lake. Spring is also the perfect time to visit Parco Scherer, a garden filled with exotic plants, sculptures, and hidden corners that make it feel like a Mediterranean paradise. And since Morcote is super small, you can easily pair it with a visit to Lugano or even take a boat ride across the lake. Then we have one of my favorites in spring, and that is the city of Montreux. Now, Montreux is all about the flowers, the lake, and the amazing views. The town sits right on Lake Geneva, and by April, the entire lakeside promenade is full of tulips, blossoms, and palm trees. It's honestly one of the best places in Switzerland to experience that early spring feeling. Now, one of the best things to do here is walk along the Montreux Riviera promenade, which stretches all the way from Vevey to Château de Chillon. If you have the time, definitely visit the Château de Chillon, a medieval castle sitting right on the water. Now you see, Montreux also has a mild climate compared to other parts of Switzerland, so by mid-April it already feels a little bit like early summer here. Then we follow with a hidden gem, and the hidden gem is again in Ticino and is called Sabbione. Now, this is one of the most unique villages in Switzerland. It's a tiny medieval looking village hidden in the Bavona Valley, one of the wildest and most untouched places in the country. Now, what makes Sabbione special? The houses here are literally built under giant rocks. Instead of roofs, some homes just use the massive boulders for natural protection. And that's something you won't see elsewhere in Switzerland. Now the whole village is made of stone houses and narrow paths, giving it this ancient, almost mysterious feel. Since it's deep in the Bavona Valley, there is no electricity, just pure nature and history. If you're looking for a place that feels frozen in time, this is it. Now, if you want to explore more of the area, the Sabbione Valley is full of traditional isolated villages. And if you want to learn more about it, check out my video on the Sabbione Valley, where I dive into all the hidden spots that most tourists never see. It's linked up here. Next up, we have something you all know, and that is Grindelwald. Now, Grindelwald is one of those places where winter and spring sort of overlap. If you're into skiing, the season is still going into early spring, but the slopes close at different times. First closes at the end of March, Männlichen in early April, and Kleinische Deck even holds strong until the end of April. So if you visit in early April, you can still ski up top, while it already feels more like spring a little bit down in the valley. Because of the altitude, spring here is a few weeks behind cities like Zurich. In early April, some trails still have no leaves, and it takes a bit longer for the grass to turn green. By late April or May, Grindelwald starts coming to life, but slowly, as we are in another shoulder season. Now, this one is not as impactful as the one in November. So hiking trails begin to open, waterfalls get stronger from the melting snow, and the views are getting better and better. Next up, we have a village you most likely have never heard of also, and that is Guarda, okay? Guarda is one of Switzerland's most charming villages, sitting high up in the Engadine Valley up in Graubünden. It's famous for its well-preserved historic houses, many of which are decorated with paintings and carvings. They are called sgraffiti in their local language. Now, walking through Guarda feels like stepping back in time. It's really quiet, peaceful, and has some really good mountain views and forest views of the surrounding region. Since Guarda is less touristy than its neighboring village St. Moritz or other villages like Zermatt or Lauterbrunnen, it's a great time to experience a traditional Swiss village without all the crowds. Another cool thing about Guarda is that it's known from the Swiss children's book Schalenorsli. If you've ever seen the book or the movie, this is the real-life village that inspired it. And also, this year I plan on revisiting Guarda and the surrounding villages, and as well the entire canton of Graubünden. So if you want to follow along and get to know a little bit more about this wonderful area of Switzerland, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And from hidden gem we go to all-star, okay? Next up is Interlaken, as I think it is one of the best places to visit in Switzerland in spring. By April, the lakes take on their bright turquoise color from the melting glaciers, and with fewer tourists than in summer, it's a perfect time to enjoy the area. Now, one of the best things to do here is to take a boat cruise on either lake. In spring, the landscapes are really stunning, and you'll see the snow-covered peaks of the Jungfrau Mountains in the background, while the lower hills in the front are already turning green. This is also when the paragliding season kicks off, really, and Interlaken, as you know, is one of the best places in the world to try it. For the best views, take the funicular up to Harderkulm, which is Interlaken's own sort of mountain. From the top, you get the panoramic views of everything around the lakes and the Jungfrau Mountains. And if you're into hiking, spring is also a great time to start exploring the trails around the region before all the summer crowds arrive. Following, we have another cool favorite place of mine, and that is in Ticino, is Lugano, okay? It's one of the first places in Switzerland to feel like summer, even in spring. Since it's in Ticino, like Morcote we've seen before, the weather here warms up weeks before the rest of the country. By April, you already see all the palm trees, blooming flowers, and feel the sun warming up. Now, one of the best things to do here is to walk along the Lakeside promenade. It's probably like the fourth time I'm mentioning it already. You can especially visit Parco Gianni, which is a wonderful park with many beautiful flower arrangements up there as well. Also, if you're up for a hike, you can head up to Monte Bre or Monte San Salvatore. They have both really amazing views of the surrounding lakes and of course the Alps as well. It is also a really good time to visit the small villages around Lugano. Places like Morcote, we've mentioned before, or another one that's really cool is Gandria. And last but not least, we have the city of Lucerne. It's one of Switzerland's most beautiful cities, and spring makes it even more. Now, the Chapel Bridge and the Old Town are decorated with flowers, and the lake is really calm. So by April, the city has fully woken up from winter, and people start enjoying the lakeside cafes, a walk by the lakeside promenade of course again, and they go on boat cruises. Now, one of the best things for me to do in spring is to actually take a boat ride on Lake Lucerne, as the views from the water are unreal. If you want to add some adventure, head up to Mount Rigi or to Mount Pilatus, but there be careful. the cogwheel train is still not running yet and you have to use the gondola only. Now let me know in the comments which one of the places would you visit first. For me it's quite easy. I always like going to Ticino first because there spring is earliest and much more to see at that time. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon around in Switzerland. Bis bald und tschüss.